All right, Shalom. Yabashim Yabashim Kakodash. Right, it's part 2 on the lesson, and what we start off right here is when in the part of the story he said that it was too good to be true. The fact that these coal miners, or these people from a coal mining town, were introduced in a program called Mind Mines, double entendre. They were just led down a path of lie, betrayal, and uh, this is just a quick lesson based on some more scriptures and promises, all right? Also dealing with promises that have to do with the scriptures, okay? And the scriptures back up this promise that Yahawah, Bahashim Yahweh Shah has for his children. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4. It says, "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that is now and of that which is to come." All right, so see what the Bible does, brethren, is that the Bible promises a wonderful, not with any of the people, politicians, government. No one's promises have been kept. On top of that, any progression they've made based on any promises they've given us is usually made with some kind of carrot stick, leading the animal, leading the donkey. It's usually made with, well, if I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Or, backhanded compliments, or promises rather. Compliments, but promises that just are backstabbing, Let's finish up with this story real quick to end this. And the story is going all into the details of it. I recommend it's a New York Times story. So I recommend brothers, look at some of those publications, even though they're owned by a lot of the these big name. Well, we can see here who owns. See who owns the New York Times. See who owns the New York Times. It says. No, I don't want to buy it. I want to see who owns it. That's not what I want to see. You could definitely bet for sure that who owns it? How about the Wikipedia on it? Might be faster. All right, New York Times, 127 Pulitzer, nicknamed the Gray Lady, owned by the Times Company, publicly traded. Is owned by the family since 1896. A.G. Sulzberger. Well, surprise, surprise, you could tell by the name Schultz and Sulzberger and all that other stuff. All right, is these Amalek, these the enemy Esau. All right, and even if Esau is going ahead and reporting on all the things that his people are doing, it's just that Satan cannot stand. Scripture in Matthew. All right, and so it speaks of people that were promised things, their journeys, the promises that they made that they all find a job. Basically, they were saying the people that founded the company got Congress or congressmen and different senators and whatnot to sponsor them. And here they go, and they set up this thing, and they said that people called from everywhere. There was like some. This is, and there was an irresistible promise. All right, that's the whole point of this, gentleman, Akim. Promise. Promise is what there is. An irresistible promise is even more. That they would be paid to take the classes. Some were told by email, by a state jobs counselor. Others were told by Miss Locker, as the people, one of the founding people that was in the mining business and some tech, and they weren't doing, no shit really in life. They found a way to run a scam and take people's money and live off of it. All right. So they just described people that were that basically this lady worked at Family Dollar. All right. And so she said, well, I don't want to keep on working Family Dollar. Somebody said that they pay like new students and all that. They give you to do that, and even then they say, oh, let's do trips. Let's just go to Lithuania for. And some people will say, well, it's an opportunity with my class, but it was saying that the class was terrible. The class, they weren't doing uh, no real assignments. They didn't have any real qualified accredited professors in the tech or whatever the fields that they were offered in these classes. They didn't have the right teachers. And times that they, I think for the final thing that they had to help build a bed and breakfast for the owner's mother. So that's not really using, your newfound skills to your final class to be able to put to the test and make a website. I mean, they're not easy. I've done it before, but still. All right. So anyway, this story goes on further and further, and it repeats itself, is what it says. And it says, Minds continue operating, holding new classes in Logan. But what I wanted to show you more particularly is this: the fact where it says, also to kind of finish it off, is an irresistible promise was made. And there was an irresistible promise that they would be paid to take the class. When you ever heard of that? Usually you got to pay to always take classes you're interested in. That's how they make money. They're able to pay the professors or the instructors of the classes and whatnot. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. Okay, so just in this particular article, the New York Times spoke about they were promised them liberty. You can stop working at Family Dollar or living in your parents' home, and the people the founders, they represent the government. All right, congressmen and other greedy uh, civil servants of this country. For which a man of whom a man is overcome, the same is he brought in bondage. Meaning, man, exactly what was promised to you is what's going to be your downfall. All right, but that's not with Yahawah Shemi. His promises are legit. His promises are forever. 1 Timothy 4. Remember, it says, having promise of life that now is and of that which is to come. All right. So we see the fake and the real. We see the important and the what feels like is important right now going on in this world. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 6 verse 13. For when the Most High made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself. Now that's wonderful, man, because when you go into it, there's that word again, epigalima. Let me go. It's that from epigalini. Epangali. Okay, here we go. We're gonna look this. This is the Greek.
Strong's G 1861. Epangelamai. Epangelamai.
All right, epangelamai.
Epangelo.
Epangelo, or the promise, which is epologene, and the root word epangelo. but this is epogelonai. And this is to announce that one is about to do or furnish something, to promise of one's accord. All right, I like this. Really keep on going into the Strongs, but right here, whenever you go to the definition of it, to announce, here we go, epangelonai, epangelo, from the G 1909, announce upon, implications to engage, to do something, to assert something, respecting oneself. Okay, so it says I put that on me, meaning that like if you promise somebody, and you say that's my promise, I promise on you, whoever and you say, well, how do I know you're telling the truth? Most I said, because I'm me. I put people, I put that on my mama. Most I said, I put that on me. All right. So it's kind of cool the way we see Most High speak, all right? And this chapter, Romans 9, is an amazing chapter on salvation, speaking about the promise. Hebrews 6 is a very good chapter as well. I'm going to move on because it's very good to the last scripture. Galatians chapter 3, and actually 2 Peter 2, Salakia, brothers. But 2 Peter, when we go all into it, man, it's really good for salvation scriptures against heathens and just people that have been blinded. But anyway, let's go to 2 Peter. Salakia. There was the promise, and they go into it in depth. And promises. Okay. Okay. Salakia. This is a good one here. This is go down, going up a few. It says Hebrews 6. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to Galatians chapter 3. And it's a very strong scripture here. And this is even more to say. He told Abraham, Yahawah told Abraham, hey, this is on me. I put that on this. This is Galatians 3 and 17. We'll say, well, it's a new promise, it's new this. Well, how is it possible? Galatians 3 verse 17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before Yahawah in Hamashiach, before Salakia. Let me start again. Galatians 3 and 17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Yahawah in Yahawah, the law, which 430 years after, cannot be null, and that it should make the promise of none effect. Okay, again, there's that promise, so that should make the promise of none effect. All right, so the Most High is telling us, listen, this cannot be done away with. This law, the fact that a Christian, so-called Christian, is going to read the Bible and say, "Hey, see, Yahawah came he came to fulfill the law, so he didn't came to he came to basically he was the end. When you accept him, you have no more law." Well, that don't make no sense. And all this is the promises of laws, or we don't have to do this, and that was the Mosaic law, and all this business. But wait a moment. This even here says, and this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Yahawah in Yahawah, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul, that it would make the promise of none effect. Anything else you say, anything else you do, no matter what, you can't come against that law. People are going to try it. The famine of the word is coming. So you brothers keep pushing and having faith in the scriptures and the promises of Yahawah Bashem Yahushua to his people, all right? That goes back and shown that we are them, the so-called Native Americans, Hispanic, and Negroes that the world ignorantly calls. That's what the world ignorantly calls, but we are the 12 tribes of the Bible, all right? So with that, I want to say, Kahala Yahawah Bashem Yahushua. Shalom.